Okay, so he left off. Hmm, Uh, talked about that. Yeah, we pretty sure we talked about this. Guy trying to respond to. Oh yeah, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this. Because I was watching. I've seen this a few times, and what I tend to do is I tend to close my eyes and just listen. And when Asman was talking about it, watching this video is the first time I did it. And listening to this guy talk about this and trying to explain why it's legit, how it's legit, as he sits and tries to explain it, it gets to a point where I'm questioning what he's even talking about, because it doesn't seem to talk. It doesn't seem like he's continuing to talk about the business. He's trying to avoid talking about that business and essentially beating around the bush and talking about we need to take care of the children, but not actually answering the questions about the business. So this is why I wanted to watch this.
Journalism that's been going on the last couple of days has been really dishonest. I don't want to point fingers at anybody, but I do feel like what was done was someone came to our building outside of operating hours. When there's a specific sign on our door that says our days and our hours, he came outside of those hours and then claimed, hey, they're closed and they're still making money. They're using taxpayer money to work. And it's like, you don't come outside of operational hours and then say they're using taxpayer money. That was completely false. A lot of the journalism that's been going on the last couple of days has been really dishonest. I don't know.
Okay, see, this isn't actually him talking about it, because over here, Asman goes. I think this is it.
This Minnesota judge. So this is, guys, is this the judge that did it? People get mad at me for it or anything like that, but that doesn't matter because there is a greater goal at play here. Them saying that they believe in diversity is the biggest inside joke? Yeah, it is. Yeah, of course, right?
That's it. There's one of these videos he's talking about this subject, but you can hear the guy and what he's referring to. Oh, here it is. Right here.
Sort of, as Somalis, as people.
He's saying
this is where I stopped. I had to go off and do something else, but this is where I stopped watching this video because I was planning on coming back for content and talking about it, but I got doing other things, and when I did come back, I ended up in a different realm. So this is it.
People like this used to try to be friends with tigers back in the day, and these problems would solve themselves. But nowadays, we have to let these people run wild and they can vote. I keep telling you guys, we need to stop people from voting. We do. We got to stop them from voting.
Don't say, hey, there's a group of people that are Somali that are doing fraud. Say, hey, every single Somali must be part of fraud. No, we're
Nobody's saying that.
Owners.
You're business owners? Yeah, that's the problem. That's the entire problem.
Being a business owner is extremely tough. Trying to raise kids.
And this is where I get completely lost. And I'm intently paying attention. And this is where I just completely, he completely loses me. Which is why I don't make it much further, because I'm like, I'm going to come back and talk about this, because this is confusing as hell. No wonder you're being accused of fraud. You can't even answer the simple question.
That are not yours, that are others, is extremely tough as well. But then for people to come and go like, hey, they're not really working, they're just taking free money. if any of us have children here, raising children is not easy. Trying to.
And that face, that face is why I'm like, okay, like, what are you even talking about, guy? So I plan to come back, but this is what I mean. He couldn't just answer these questions of why for more than one day there's been no children there, been no business activity outside of their little dog and pony show they tried to do yesterday, putting up social media posts of kids, flocks of kids going into the place. Well, duh, you're going to do that whenever you've been called out. So and this face is what did it. This face is what did it for me. It sent me over. I'm like, all right, I got to talk about this. Because he goes in and starts talking about absolutely nothing.
Trying to help them with schoolwork, trying to build their manners is not easy work. So when somebody comes and does that, it's really disheartening. In the community itself, as Minnesota, as Somalis, as people that own this business for 8 years now, we do nothing but to uplift the community, uplift our children, uplift one another, uplift non-Somalis, uplift Somalis, to make a better community for all of us.
Exactly. That's the problem, is that you guys try to take money, act as a racial interest group, and then not assimilate, not become part of America, but become an enclave inside of a host nation and be as parasitic as you possibly can be. This is it. We got to send these people back. We do. We got to send them back. Like, this is crazy.
I didn't get to this point, but it goes to show they don't have real answers to answer any real questions. They have beat around the bush and talk about raising children is hard. Like, yeah, that's why it's part of it is left up to the community thing. Can't raise children on your own. It takes community, or whatever that analogy is. It takes a community, and something like a quality learning center where children are supposed to be going to learn, that can't answer the simple questions of why is there no activity? Why is there no traffic? Why is your business otherwise permanently closed? This is why people are coming at you. They're not coming at you because they hate Somalians. They're coming at you because you've been doing fraudulent things for 8 years. And now when you've been scrutinized for it, you have no answers. You should have been able to build these answers over the course of 8 years. You should have been able to, somebody in your community should have said, you know, the sign is spelled wrong, right? You've been here for 8 years, and yet your sign has probably been spelled wrong for the entirety of 8. That's the problem. If you talk about your community being such a forthright community, then they should have stepped up and realized that you guys are looking a little janky. Well, just because you got some pretty little painting thing here, that doesn't mean anything. All this pretty and all this fluff means nothing when there's a glaring discrepancy on the front of your building. You can't claim to be legitimate when the only thing legitimate are the people who painted this wall and the designer who designed this misspelled banner. Because I wouldn't blame the designer, and it's exactly what this guy does. He goes and he tries to blame the designer. Well, probably can blame the designer because he's probably the designer. He probably designed this sign. Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about with that, because that's a big discrepancy as well. You can't answer the question, but you go and start talking about random stuff. Yeah. That's why I wanted to go back to. I don't remember why I grabbed that. And I've been talking about this for a while. People, gamers and those who follow Star Citizen tend to call this and mislabel this as a scam. And Co-Carnage explained it the best. It's not a scam because there's an actual product to it. A scam is somebody defrauding you in the hopes of providing a product. That's a scam. You're not actually getting anything. You're just spending money. So Star Citizen isn't a scam. but it does cost around $42 to $50 to start playing the game. But it's not just that. You have to have a decent machine to run this game. If you have a computer that predates RTX graphics cards, then you're probably not going to be able to play this game. And if you can, it's going to run like trash. The problem with Star Citizen, and it's not the optimization, because again, it's in alpha, so not going to be unoptimized while in alpha. It's this $1 billion. And people will say, well, they're not at $1 billion yet. No, Star Citizen, if you go and you add all the money that they have taken in from gamers, the investors, everybody, if you take in and count all the money they've taken from everybody, it will be over $1 billion. And it is because of high priced ships. You can get a ship for $42, $50. You can get something to use for that money, but it's not going to be the kind of fun you're looking for in a space RPG MMO. You're not going to get that. You know, when you start spending more money, because I've spent, I'll tell you, initially I bought a $40-some ship. And then when they allowed you to dissolve it and upgrade, I did that, paid the difference for, I think it was like a $70 or $80 ship, like one of the Drakes. Then I dissolved my Drake and picked up the Freelancer Max. And at the time, I was making really good money. And my any disposable income I had was pretty much, some of it got saved, some of it went to video game stuff, because that's what I was doing. I was streaming video games nightly after work. So that's what I did. So I ended up buying the Gladius. And when I got that, I was like, you know what? I want another ship. So I picked up one of the miners, and then dissolved that for a salvager. So my personal money, I've spent probably $400 on the game. And I've been playing it since since the early days of Star Citizen. Very early days of Star Citizen. When there was only one planet, you could walk around this one area, or you could do hangar stuff. And it wasn't like a bunch of hangar stuff. It's like you could see what the hangars look like. And they used to have it where you could go, the hangars, the personal hangar in the game, the hangar commander or whatever that is, that's probably where all that lies now. But I started playing Star Citizen back in those days, back when there was pretty much nothing. Most ships weren't flight ready. Your starter ships were pretty much the only flight ready ships. So in that time, they've taken in more than $1 billion. And I know people that have spent more spent more IRL money in the game than I have by a large margin. I'm considered a casual gamer compared to a lot of these other people. But that's what a lot of people are looking for. They're looking for this kind of game. So they're all hanging on to hope that it'll be an actual released game before we all go to the grave. And not just going to be thanked in the afterlife for our service to our life's work of testing it, because that's all what we're ultimately doing. We are lifelong employees under the tester umbrella for a lot of these games and these companies. A lot of these companies have no plans to release a full product. I would venture to say Star Citizen does not have a single plan for actual full release of this game for the persistent universe, which is why they created Squadron 42. Because that's what they'll release. That's what they'll go to full release with. A single player game. Not the MMO. They will go to full release with a single player game, and we probably will never see a full release of the persistent universe. It will always be in development. And not go into, it might go into beta, but it'll go into early stages of beta, and that's it. Something will happen that will cause the persistent universe to be taken down. And that's the unfortunate thing, is because they've made over $1 billion and they are no closer to a finished product. Another Columbus Dispatch. And I hope that I'm looking at this as a joke. I mean, when I see stuff like this happen, I look at it as a joke, and that's why I saved this one. Save this one because Columbus Dispatch doesn't want to let anybody read anything without paying money to them. Let's read this. 2 Republican state lawmakers want to name a portion of Interstate 70 in Columbus after President Donald Trump. House Bill 638 would name the highway in Franklin County between mile markers 98 and 100 President Donald Trump Freedom Highway. That section of highway runs through downtown Columbus. The bill was introduced December 23rd by Representative DJ Swearingen, a Republican out of Huron, and Representative Jeff LaRae, a Republican out of Violet Township. We wanted to honor the president's efforts in making our country a better place to live for Americans above all other interests. From protecting free speech to protecting our borders, Swearingen said in a statement. He's turned the direction of our country for the better. The bill will require our Ohio Department of Transportation to place markers along that portion of highway with the name designation. This bill recognizes President Donald J. Trump as the consequential figure in American history and reflects the voices of millions of Ohioans who supported his presidency, LaRae said in a statement. Ohio has a long-standing practice of using highway designations to acknowledge leaders and moments that have shaped our state and union. Trump won Ohio by 11 points in 2024, making a third straight presidential election he carried the state's electoral votes. In 2024, then Vice President Kamala Harris won Franklin County by about 28 points. In downtown Columbus, section of I-70 was chosen because it is one of the most heavily traveled corridors in Ohio and a gateway in the capital city, LaRae said. The goal is straightforward: recognition, not division. The bill, as of Tuesday, has not been assigned to a committee. This is ridiculous. You two? No, you don't belong in politics anymore. No, you're done. No, you have so much more things to be doing than to be proposing a bill about putting a designation on a highway. What are we doing? Get these people out of office. Get them out. If your main priority is creating a designation on the highway to honor President Trump and all the great things, what great things? Seriously, you guys are trying to put all this stuff up as a way to say, look, he's done great things. There's a road designation for him. There's all this stuff for him, honoring him. You literally just stepped on what you said by saying he did not win Franklin County. He lost Franklin County to Kamala Harris. So instead of just doing your jobs as politicians and worrying about stuff that actually matters, you're wanting to throw up something that actually reminds the Kamala Harris voters that they lost the election. That's what you want to do. You're talking about creating recognition instead of division. No, you just said in 2024, then Vice President Kamala Harris won Franklin County by 28 points. If she won Franklin County by 28 points, why are you putting up something that honors Trump? That makes no sense. That is literally going to be the reason division happens in the center of Franklin County. It's because you're doing something that purposely throws it in the face of the people that lost. And that's why I say, you all do not to be, you are not representatives of Huron, and you're not representatives of Violet Township. You are representatives of money. That's it. Money and getting people to recognize the good things you've done when you've literally done nothing. This is the first time I'm ever hearing your two names, and it's created a distasteful flavor in my mouth. I don't even know who either of you are, where you came from, and who the hell you think you are and come from. Because while I voted for Donald Trump, I don't want his name on a highway because he's not done anything to deserve his name on a highway. His name belongs on the nameplate at the front of his desk, and until he does actually more for the United States of America and its people, then I don't want to hear about what he's doing that's so great. Because from what I'm seeing, he's only serving self-centered interests, corporate interests. I mean, literally, everybody's been saying it, the same thing. He's been serving corporate interests, rich people interests, these disgusting people that have been hanging out with and doing the Epstein party thing. Thank you for the follow. Your mama soccer. Your mama soccer. Thank you for the follow. But Donald Trump hasn't done really anything. And Representative DJ Swearingen and Representative Jeff LaRae, you put yourself on a radar you probably should have stayed off of, because now you don't belong in those positions. If this is what you choose to do with your representative positions, you do not represent the people of Ohio. It's more specifically the people of Huron and the people of Violet Township. You do not actually represent us. Well, I don't live there, so you don't represent them. You represent self-centered interests. So get these two people out of here. Let's show who they are. You should have shut the hell up. You shouldn't have even said anything. DJ Swearingen. He thinks that the most important thing he should be doing with his job is proposing a highway designation for Donald Trump, instead of actually representing the people of Huron. That's what he chooses to do with his daily work. Lobby for a designation on a highway. And here's Mr. Jeff LaRae. Another one who thinks that name designations on a highway are the most important thing he should be doing with his time as a representative of Violet Township. These people do not belong in politics. They are self-serving people. Guaranteed they're agendavized by somebody filling their pockets. I promise you they are. These are the kind of people that we are continuing to keep in our political system. These self-centered, self-serving people. That's who they are. Again, you should have just left it alone because you were purposely creating division by your well, not your words, because you probably purposely didn't bring that up. And I don't know why you wouldn't have assumed that somebody would have looked into it like, wait, Trump didn't win Franklin County. Kamala Harris won Franklin County. So why are you throwing up a Trump highway designation in the center of Franklin County and on one of the most traveled corridors in Ohio? It's because you want to throw it into the face of the people who lost. These people don't need to be representing us anymore. Get them out of these offices. This is not what you should be doing with your time. And that's why I wanted to go back to that, because these two people have put themselves on notice to get back to work and do your actual job, or you're gone. You won't be representatives of Huron and Violet Township any longer. We didn't put you in where you are so that you can try to get road designations for people. No. There we go.
2 people are dead after a police chase in Waverly, which ended in a crash. This happened just within the last 15 minutes. We've learned 2 people are dead after a police chase in Waverly, which ended in a crash. This happened just last night after 7 p.m.
That's downtown. 23 in North Market. That's the Arena District, Brewery District. It's all kind of the same area. It's around Nationwide Arena, North Market. North Market's right here. It's the Arena District. So if it happened on 23, then it's probably going to be like right over here. Which there's a lot of bars. There's a lot of bars, areas where belligerent people go. This is a very belligerent area. It's otherwise known as the Brewery District. Or the Arena District. Brewery District's down here. Here, that's the brewery. A lot more bars here, but there's still tons of drinking, tons of bars, tons of drunk people activity going on in this area. It's bad. It sucks. It's terrible that 2 people were killed.
The Ohio State Highway Patrol says the driver ran a red light during the pursuit and then slammed into another car at US 23 in North Market Street Friday night. Troopers are still investigating what led up to the chase. Within the last 15 minutes, we've learned 2 people.
Let's see if we can't find an update. Update. Davina Arthur, 46, of Friendship, Ohio, was engaged in a pursuit with Chillicothe police going southbound on US 23 when Arthur ran a red light and struck another car driven by William Gildow, 63. It's the same thing.
We thought we heard gunshots first. And so I stood behind her and I was grabbing onto her shirt. Like, I was like, I want my mom. I want my mom.
Mara Oliver was standing here Friday night when she realized something was wrong.
Yes, I was counting the register.
North Market Street.
All my money was laying out here. And
that's not in Columbus.
I heard the tires do something. And then I was like, oh my gosh. And I kind of like peeked out the window over here. And all we seen is all the blue and red lights.
That's when she rushed outside and saw a tragedy unfold.
The car was on fire, all of that, and I stayed out there for an hour watching it all.
Yeah, it's up here.
Ohio State Highway Patrol says a crash just after 7 o'clock Friday night ended with 2 people dead and another person injured. This happened at the intersection of US 23 and North Market Street in the village of Waverly.
Cops were still chasing them through town.
And the crazy thing is, it says she was being chased from Chillicothe. Chillicothe's up here, which means she was barreling down 23. And 63-year-old person lost their life because of it. I would assume that she was one of the people killed. High-speed crash like that. Especially if she saw, if that person said that sounded like gunshots.
There was like 8 stadies down there when I went, like 4 fire trucks, like 3 or 4 ambulances.
Troopers say Davina Arthur was engaged in a pursuit with the Chillicothe Police Department going southbound on US 23.
That's crazy.
Investigators say the pursuit continued south through the village of Waverly, where Arthur ran a red light and hit another car. State police say the other car was driven by William Gildow, who was westbound on North Market Street. Troopers say neither people survived the crash.
I walked down to the library and there was a car on fire. Car in flames and a bunch of pieces just laying in the library lot. So you could tell it was hit pretty hard, pretty heavy.
It was very scary. As soon as I stepped out the door, I was shaking, trembling. My voice was trembling and I was terrified. And then I started calling my mom, calling everybody else, making sure it's not my family, or texting friends, make sure it's not them, and just calling everybody in my phone that I had, make sure it's not, check up on your own family.
Oliver wishing the best for the families involved.
I pray so hard. I'm praying for them so much. I feel awful. It got me in tears when I found out who it really was.
Ariana Mintz, WSAZ.
Because this guy's probably known. If that's a small town, small towns know everybody. They know everyone. So this guy is probably well known in that town. And that's the unfortunate thing. Yeah. Thought we heard gunshots at first. And it comes back to how was that person able to procure a driver's license and a vehicle? It's because there's no real background checks that go on in driving. There's no real checks and balances in driving. It's the easiest thing you can do, but it's also one of the most dangerous things you can do. And yet these BMVs don't actually scrutinize the right people. They just let anybody who's got money to spend, who can produce some type of document, and that's it. They let them go in and out. There should be a requirement for getting a driver's license. To initially get your driver's license, you should be required to go through driver's school. And that's a classroom and the practical on-road portion. This stuff a lot of this can be avoided by requiring those two things from all drivers that want to drive on the roads in the United States. It is not a right to drive on the roads in the United States. It is a privilege. And the privilege is being literally given to anybody. Anybody that can produce money and fraudulent documents. I would say documents, but who knows if they're real documents. They could be fraudulent. People can go in with any type of document essentially and get licenses and drive on the roads with no prior experience to driving. They go in at 18 years old, take a test, and that's it. That's all they do. You take a quick test. Doesn't show actual driving aptitude. And it should not be that way. The rest of us should not have to sit and worry if we're going to be run over by a car driven by a person that should have never been allowed to drive in the first place. Dope dealers, hope stealers. I've seen a couple of these the last few days. Time for drug bust is upon us. Time for drug busts is upon us. I'm just setting up. Yeah. Drug bust in progress. What I like to see. When I used to live in the South End, I actually really enjoyed watching the drug busts go on. It was enjoyable. I really enjoyed it.
The point at which we arrived today is a
on June 13th,
significant.
Let's go here. Before throwing money at Obamacare, maybe close the loop on this. See.
Against 320. We are announcing today charges against 324 defendants for their alleged participation in healthcare fraud schemes involving approximately $14.6 billion in false claims submitted to Medicare, Medicaid, and other healthcare programs. The largest coordinated healthcare fraud takedown in the history of the Department of Justice.
I mean, it's getting crazy. Like, was Obamacare meant to be fraud, or was it meant to actually help people? Because it seems to me like a lot of Obamacare stuff has been used to commit fraud. A lot of the stuff within Obamacare is being shown to be fraudulent. So was all of Obamacare meant to just be fraud? Because this is becoming regular. It's becoming regular.
New details tonight. We're learning more about a crash involving a stolen vehicle that sent at least 3 people to the hospital.
According to Columbus police, it happened around noon Friday at Sunbury and Stelzer Roads. And today we got that dash camera video of police attempting to stop the car.
10 TV's Catherine Simon went through that video and breaks down what happened. Catherine.
According to a preliminary police report, a man was delivering food for Uber Eats in northeast Columbus on Friday. Police say he left his car running while he went inside to pick up food. The man told police he was inside for less than 3 minutes when he saw someone get in his car and eventually drive off.
They stole your car? Yeah, he's my account.
That's the 911 call of a man saying his car was stolen. According to Columbus police, while officers were with the victim, other officers located the stolen car. CPD released this dash cam video showing an officer pulling up behind the car. Video shows the car making a U-turn and then speeding up. According to police, officers attempted to make a stop, but the car sped away.
I'm disengaging. I'm following, obeying traffic laws, not pursuing. They are passing traffic on W and heading northbound Sunbury.
About 30 seconds later, the video shows the officer pulling up. Moments after that collision, 911 calls reveal the moments after the crash.
Like, this car just ran straight into someone else's car.
I was just driving on Sunbury Road, and I just saw a car crash right in front of me. I was just driving forward, and a person sped by me driving on the wrong side of the road.
Columbus police are investigating. They haven't yet released the suspect's name. We reached out today to see if any arrests have been made, and we're waiting to hear back. Jeff, Stacia?
And I saved this because I am one of these gig workers. My normal life, I am a gig worker. And I have run into an instance where someone tried to steal my car while delivering Amazon packages. This is a very regular thing. And after that day, I didn't care how much gas it costs to restart my car every time. I started shutting my car down and locking it, no matter what. So for all gig workers, I don't care if you're in a suburban neighborhood, if you're in an area you think is super safe, the one instance you become complacent, that complacency bites you in the ass. I promise you it will. Because for many, many years prior to the one incident of someone trying to steal my car while delivering Amazon packages, many years before that, I left my car running. I would run into a gas station, leave my car running. But I stopped doing that when I was going into gas stations. Whenever somebody tried to, they stole stuff out of my car and was going to try to steal my car, but I came out of the store. So they had taken off running. After that, I stopped leaving my vehicle running, regardless of where I was at and what I was doing. And when I started delivering packages, I mean, you have insignia on your vehicle saying that you're a delivery driver of sorts. But people will still try to steal your stuff. So don't trust that. There are good people in the world. You know there are. But assume everybody is not good. Just, you have to assume that no one is good while you're on the job. If your job is to deliver things for people, assume that no one is going to be kind, and everyone has the capability of stealing your vehicle. And if you think about it that way, you won't change as a person, but you'll be more mindful as a gig worker. I promise you. I started running into a lot less precarious situations after I started just to assume everybody that I encountered was essentially a potential threat to my job. So you got to be mindful. Don't leave your vehicles running unless you're standing in it, unless you're standing near it, able to reach out and touch it, or sitting inside of it. Do not leave it running. And if you're standing outside of it and within arm's length, and you're not standing by the driver door, able to get right in it, then that thing should be shut down. We don't need to leave our vehicles idle. New vehicles don't really fall into the old categories of it costs more to turn it off and restart your vehicle than it is to just turn it off. Like, those really don't hold true anymore because of the way vehicles are being manufactured. So you don't need to leave your vehicle idle. You don't need to save milliseconds. Take the time. I promise you, it will cost you a lot less. And see, in my case, I was able to fight the kid off. I was able to fight the kid out of my vehicle and retain my vehicle without being destroyed. I remember why I want to see this. This is smart.
So, an influencer quoted me $2,500 to promote bocce. I figured I would just smoke a blunt and show you my sourdough starter.
Advertise. That's perfect advertising. So some influencer quoted me $2,700 to promote bocce. So I figured I'd smoke a blunt and show you my sourdough starter. I mean,
so
perfect
an
marketing.
influencer quoted me $2,500 to promote bocce. I figured I would just smoke a blunt and show you my sourdough starter.
I'm part of my background is in marketing and advertising, and regardless of who's like that's just so distasteful. You know what? Guarantee this dude's he's killing it. This right here is perfect marketing. This is what real people want. They don't want some BS advertisement that's fake. People don't want that. They want to see real. They want to see a dude smoking a blunt and showing you his sourdough starter. And this dude's pizzeria is probably bomb. I wish I was near it. I would go and get me a pizza, even though I can't afford it. And I would have to walk there. This is perfect marketing. This is fantastic marketing. And kudos to this guy. Brilliant. And that's really what we want from marketing. We want real brilliance, not fake fluff. So you think, oh, it's going in and out. But it's actually a scheme. Remember what I said? It goes back further. It goes back further than what people truly realize. And to me, I'm going to be the one that's saying it. Is this why the Democrats have been trying so hard to keep power? Is this right here? Is this the swamp that Donald Trump was actually referring to in 2016? I'm going to say yes. Not just in Minnesota. I'm going to say the worldwide scheme of fraud, of all this types of fraud, was Donald Trump's original swamp drain statement. I'm the one that's saying it. I haven't heard anybody say it. I've been the one that's saying, why don't we maybe start asking that question? Is that why the Democrats have been trying to retain power? It was because this fraud and this type of fraud is not universal as in it's a universal language, but it is so big that it would span the entirety of the universe. That's how big this level of fraud is. It would encapsulate the entire universe. I'm the one that's saying that. No one else is saying that. I am. I'm saying that's why the Democrats have been trying so hard to retain this control, is because this fraud goes well beyond their control. So when it starts to get uncovered that this is actually what's been happening and why it's been happening, everybody can come back here and quote me on it, because I'm saying it now.
In the end, government.
And until I hear anybody else saying it, and I'm talking influential names, then I know that I'm the only one saying it.
Government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it.
This is a device that gets revenge on scammers.
Thank you for calling tech support. You're talking with Alex Randall. How can I help you?
Alex, this is the second time in 10 days that all kinds of bells and whistles are going off on my laptop.
Oh.
So somebody's monkeying around with my account again.
It's linked to a scammer system, and when it lights up, it means their computer is online. But hit this button, and their computer is forced to shut down. Now, we can attach this to any scammer we want. So who did we choose?
I'm not talking to people. I don't like them.
What? Meet Kevin.
I've already seen this video, but I actually want to go back to what he was saying, because there's some key things in what he was saying in this video.
Seek power and profit at the or it serves those who break patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those.
All right,
in the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws.
Right there. He's not actually talking he ropes in Minnesota fraud, but he's actually talking about, it's almost like he's trying to break himself free of that that control he's being controlled with, because he's talking to the politicians who have been serving the fraud, serving others' interests, because he goes and connects the fraud in Minnesota. But his initial statement is about serving the American people's interests over anyone else's interests.
In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it's
that right there is to the politicians. That is a statement to the politicians.
Serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. In the end, government either.
This is an ultimatum to politicians. Well, he's leaving out the serving Israeli interests, but he is kind of putting an ultimatum to politicians who aren't serving American interests. But he's making a connection to the ones, a lot more specifically to the ones that have enabled the Somali child care fraud thing to happen. But he's making a broader statement. The broader statement is to start serving America's interests, because it's going to get bad if you don't. And that's what that statement really is for. Oysters. Other chopstick.
Minnesota and their fraud on visas and their programs, 50% of them are fraudulent, which means that wacko Governor Walz either is an idiot or he did it on purpose. And I think he's bold, sir. He brought people in there illegally that never should have been in this country, said they were somebody that they're not. They said they were married to somebody who was their brother or somebody else. Fraudulent visa applications, signed up for government programs, took hundreds of billions of dollars from the taxpayers, and we're going to remove them and we're going to get our money back. And we're going to, this next year, make sure that we only put people in leadership positions in this country that love this country and have its back. So
I can tell you why I saved this too.
You know, you told me
I saved this because it doesn't make sense of how all of a sudden DHS is investigating visas and finding that 50% of immigration visas in Minnesota are fraudulent. All of a sudden. Now, all of a sudden, all of this fraud is starting to pop up. And it, like I said, it's a lot deeper than, it's a lot deeper and has been going on a lot longer than these people even want to admit. If they will say what they need to say, they will say, this is why the Democrats have tried so hard to retain power in the United States. Because without them keeping power, this fraud starts to get uncovered. Without this, without the Democrats keeping power, this stuff starts to pop up. And which is why Donald Trump couldn't get to it in 2016. Because he was in court the whole time. He spent his whole first term in court. So, of course, he's not going to be able to start figuring it out in 2016. But that was our only chance, really, as a government to figure it out. Seeing as they failed to do it, and it took a YouTuber doing it, they're screwed. They have no credibility now. Damn mute.
To let people do what they want to do, because the moment you stop trying to manage somebody, you're going to finally actually know who they are. Letting people choose freely is uncomfortable, but it's also the fastest way to figure out what they value and where you actually stand with them. Because when you try to control people, you're only delaying the truth. But by allowing freedom in the relationship, you expose the truth. And once you see their priorities, your decisions get a whole lot clearer.
Lurking.
You have to let people do what they want to do, because the moment you stop trying to manage somebody, you're going to finally actually know who they are. Letting people choose freely is uncomfortable, but it's also the fastest way to figure out what they value.
I watched this. Fucked up.
She said this is bullshit after the trans women won. More and more women are speaking out about this. She later on was actually given the title because after Libs of TikTok posted this, the committee looked into it and did find that this person was born male. But just the fact that this person knew that this was not allowed and did it anyway speaks volumes. She said,
Yep.
Property holds. Everybody thinks that there's a vote. There's no vote. The property holds. There's 500 acres approximately out there that holds the correct zoning, and it's already annexed into the village. We don't really have a leg to stand on to stop it. Everybody thinks that there's a vote. There's no vote. The property holds. There's 500 acres approximately out there that holds the correct zoning, and it's already annexed into the village. We don't really have a leg to stand on to stop it. Everybody thinks that there's a vote.
This is for
there's no vote.
For data centers. Almost positive that's yeah. But yeah, this is him talking about zoning for data centers. I wish these places would put up actual connections to some articles, but can't expect people to be smart. It's got a song on it. Probably some homeless people stealing.
From this press corps than there was. Well, there's a lot more scrutiny on this issue from this press corps than there was. Well, and the previous administration said that too. My predecessor stood up at this podium and she said inflation doesn't exist. She said the border was secure, and people like you just took her at her word, and those were two utter lies. Everything I'm telling you is the truth, backed by real factual data, and you just don't want to report on it because you want to push untrue narratives about the president. There's a lot more scrutiny on this issue from this press corps than there was. Yeah. Well, and the previous administration said that too. My predecessor stood up at this podium and she said inflation doesn't exist. She said the border was secure.
Prices are coming down. Things are costing less. No, they're not. No, they're not. Hey, and just because bread dropped 25 cents in price doesn't mean it's not still impossible to buy a house. It's not impossible to buy a car. It's not near impossible for an American citizen to do anything here. Like, we're not just talking about the prices of our groceries and the prices of our gas. Those are great to be affordable, What we're also talking about is the cost of living in general. How much it costs for somebody who is a citizen of this country to buy a home. How much it costs for a citizen of this country to be able to get a vehicle, an operable vehicle. These are the things we ultimately talking about. You're allowing corporations to charge any price they want using profits and profit margins as their reasoning as to why they should be allowed. We're not just talking about how much toothpaste costs. We're also talking about how much it costs to rent my home because I can't afford to buy a home. We're talking about how much it costs to insure our stuff because we always have to worry about someone stealing or breaking or destroying our stuff. These are also the things that go into the prices. We don't care that you saved us 15 cents on milk. We don't care. What did you do to the insurance company that told them to stop doing what they're doing? What did you tell the housing market to do to stop doing what they're doing? Did you reverse all these housing prices? Did you reverse the criminality that is the renter market? No, you have not. You guys have done nothing. You saved us a penny on milk. And you talk about lower prices. Prices are so low now. So much better than my predecessor. You've done nothing. You literally have done nothing. The things we're asking for are lower overall costs. Lower overall costs. And overall cost just doesn't mean groceries. It doesn't just mean gas. It means everything else too. So don't sit up here and lie. Because that's what you're doing. You are lying through your teeth. I'd say through your lips, but you don't have much lips to work with. So you're lying through your teeth. And it should not be allowed. We know you're lying. Stop lying and fix it. Fix it.
And people like you just took her at her word, and those were
No, we didn't take nobody at nobody's word. You think we listen to these blowhards? No, we're watching you, lady. We're watching you. We watched her. We made our own judgments on this, and that's what you fail to realize, is that we didn't listen to whoever you're talking to. Why don't you talk to us? Stop talking to those people. Let them ask the questions, but talk to us. Because while some of their questions are going to be agendavized with whatever thing they're trying to push, a lot of their questions are coming from what their viewers are asking, what the public is asking. So stop talking to the people in front of you and start talking to the people through the camera. Start talking to us and telling us what you guys have actually done to start the reversal of all this scam and scheming. And it's not just the fraud that's going on. It's also the prices of everything. It's literally the cost of living for everything. It has not gotten better. And they keep going up. So don't lie.
two utter lies. Everything I'm telling
What you just said was another utter lie.
you is the truth backed by real factual data, and you just don't want to report on it because you want to push untrue narratives about the president.
No, we want to know why you guys are lying about prices. It's that simple. You're lying. You're not making prices better. You're not bringing them down. They're getting higher and getting worse. So shut up. This is why you all have lost faith. Of the entire population that voted for you has lost faith in you. There might be some holdouts, but they won't ultimately be. This is bomb. Bam. I wonder who's in the wrong. Who's in the wrong? I'm going to guess these guys, because if that was somebody, like if this vehicle was in the wrong, these guys wouldn't have ran away. So, yeah, good shit. Good job, lady. Oh, so it's actually a mom who was alerted to come home by the children. So she smashed up their getaway car. Because there ain't nothing wrong with that G-Wagon. She's got that smash you up guard. Yeah, she bought that white lady guard. So that is that car is totaled. This is insane.
They're right there. He probably got a gun, that's it. We'll bust him on trip. We gotta go.
I was hoping the homeowner would have laid all three of them down. But then again, the homeowner would have probably been charged. I don't know, you sympathize with people like that breaking into people's homes. You sympathize with that. You're no different than them. You are no different. So you can miss me with that. Oh, there's just hard times. They're hard times. So they decided to kick in somebody's door and brandish what looked like a Mac 10. A friggin' Uzi. The hell out of here.
Michael Montgomery, this is the Dayton Police Department. Come out with your hands up and not send them. Do it now. We are not leaving.
Definitely seems like a barricade situation. Domestic violence situation. No. Obviously, the person that they're calling for is the aggressor. So that person needs put into somewhere to seek psychiatric help. Put them in a mental institution so they can seek psychiatric help. They should not be allowed to be released back onto the streets to commit this again, because there's a high likelihood that this person will commit this again, and it's even higher that they'll escalate. So this person needs otherwise removed from society so they can't do any harm to anyone in society and get the help they actually need. Because this is a mental disorder. All this domestic violence these are mental disorders. And these people are being allowed to run around and just terrorize everybody with it. Rick Reiner makes first court appearance after being charged with parents' murder. Oh, yeah, this is the video of them tracking his movements. I guess this is after he had killed his parents. He was seen going into this store just buying a Gatorade. This is the son of Rob Reiner, Nick Reiner. part of the investigation stuff, which means they've already wrapped up the investigation, and it's pretty much heading toward the trial stages. This is what people have been able to get access to publicly. Watch some.
This is a devastating tragedy that has befallen the Reiner family. We all recognize that. Our hearts go out to the entire Reiner family. There are very, very complex and serious issues that are associated with this case. These need to be thoroughly but very carefully dealt with and examined and looked at and analyzed. We ask that during this process you allow the system to move forward in the way that it was designed to move forward, not with a rush to judgment, not with jumping to conclusions, but with restraint and with dignity.
What do you mean jumping to conclusions? The dude is mentally ill. He's charged as if he was about to be sent to Arkham Asylum. Like, it's obvious from just this video alone. He had just murdered his parents heinously. He had just heinously murdered his parents and is seen just strolling into a gas station to buy a Gatorade. And not just murdered his parents, because I'm pretty sure he murdered them and set fire to the house. Thought that's what they said. He murdered them and set fire to the house. So ask for clarification. Did Nick Reiner murder his parents and set fire to the house, or did he just murder his parents? Okay. So he didn't set fire to it. He just murdered them. And even then, it's obviously an extreme case of mental illness breakdown. It's not confusing. He doesn't need to be studied and analyzed, and just find out what happened and why he did what he did, and charge him like you would charge a supervillain in a comic book. The dude is obviously criminally insane, violently criminally insane. Arkham level insanity.
And with the respect that this system and this process deserves, and that the family deserves.
And that's the bad thing, is the system's going to try to sympathize, try to give him the benefit of the doubt of what's going on, try to give some type of lenient diagnosis of mental disorder, and he's going to sit in a low-level psychiatric ward eating pudding when he should be behind bars, right next to having the death penalty.
So with that, we are set for January 7th for an arraignment. That's the next court date. And that's all I have to say at this point. There may be more at some other point, but today we're going to rest on where we stand procedurally, which is this was a continuance of an arraignment. Nothing happened today substantively. We'll be back for an arraignment in the same department on the 7th of January. We'll see you then.
AKA, they need to get their partying done so they can get back to work.
Yeah, we are.
What? Oh, they're jacking it up.
Reiner, that's case number 25 CJC F08098.
Good morning, Your Honor. Alan Jackson, along with Caleb Mason and Elizabeth Little, and Watchman Jackson, went on behalf of Mr. Reiner, who's currently present in court in custody.
Thank you.
Morning, Your Honor. Habib
Oh,
Bailey.
he's his lawyer. That's why he's lobbying for all this lenient sympathy and this let the system do what it does. Because he's this dude's lawyer. He's got to explain what the hell happened. Makes sense. Makes sense. This is why he's talking about analyzing complexities, and it's not complex. The dude had a mental breakdown, killed his parents, and needs to be locked away. Possibly put on death row, depending on how heinous this crime was. But to me, he murdered people actively and premeditatively. He did it in a premeditative manner. He murdered people. So death penalty should be one of the things sitting on the table, if not looked at constantly. These people cannot be rehabilitated. This taxpayer should not be required to pay for this guy to sit in prison, sit in a mental institution for the next 50 to 60 years until he dies. That is a disservice to the taxpayer, because it's not like these guys are going into these places to work. They're going in there to just live in a tinier community that they couldn't live in to begin with.
Your Honor, if we could, I would like to ask for a continuance of the arraignment. I don't want to get a plea at this juncture. It's too early. We've coordinated with counsel from the DA's office, and January 7th, with the court's permission, will be a convenient date for us to come back for potential arraignment.
Thank you. At this time, I'll take a waiver, speedy arraignment waiver from your client.
Thank you.
Mr. Reiner, you have a constitutional and statutory right to a speedy arraignment. Your counsel is requesting that your arraignment be continued to January 7, 2026. Do you waive your right to a speedy arraignment so that your arraignment can be heard on January 7, 2026?
Say no.
And does counsel join in the waiver?
I join, Your Honor.
The court finds that the defendant has made a knowing and intelligent waiver of his right to a speedy arraignment, and that his counsel joins in that waiver. Matter set January 7, 2026 for arraignment in this department. Bail to stand at no bail. Anything further on that case?
Not by the defense, Your Honor.
Anything further?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So it makes no sense. What does he seek to gain and seek to do? What is the point of a continuance?
And the son of legendary Hollywood director Rob Reiner has been charged with murdering his parents. Officials say Nick Reiner used a knife to kill his father and mother, Michelle Reiner, at their home over the weekend. The 32-year-old has admitted to struggling with addiction and homelessness in the past and arguing with his parents during that time. Nick Reiner was supposed to appear in court today, but attorneys say he has not been medically cleared. He's currently being held without bail.
If there is evidence of mental illness, it will be presented in court and in whatever detail the defense seeks to do that.
Reiner could face.
How do you not see this as mental illness? You don't. Normal people with normal problems don't choose murder with a knife as a coping mechanism. Someone who isn't mentally ill isn't going to choose a knife to kill their parents as a coping mechanism. It is obvious that it is mental illness. Like, I don't know why they don't want to, like, why we got to keep doing this song and dance with this. He murdered somebody. He murdered 2 people. His parents, no less. Matricide and patricide. That is obviously mental illness. And they always try to drag this stuff out for what? What reason is there to drag this stuff out? Because that lawyer wants money. I feel like that lawyer sees that if he does right by the family, they're gonna remember him and pay him handsomely. Just put me on the docks. Put me on the docket. So I'm gonna call it money motivated. Not the kid's health, mental health. It's money. Money motivation. Ooh.
Big update for Columbus commuters this morning. A brand new I-71 southbound flyover ramp just opened. This is going to make driving through downtown so much easier. Take a look at this. This has been in the works since 2022, before drivers had to weave across 3 lanes to exit left. But now you can just keep right and get onto I-71 South without the headache. The ramp is nearly a mile long and stands 10 stories tall. Officials say it should cut congestion, improve traffic flow, and make your drive.
That's what I don't understand. I've been there. I'm a driver in Columbus. This ramp that they're talking about, it's the one that comes from here. It's all south. Oh, okay, there it is. That's what they've done. That's weird. This is the flyover right here. Because there's 2 shots. There you have the one off Mound Street that goes straight. That essentially is it's either pushing to this, or you got to get over this, keep heading west. What they've done is, at first this used to still be here, but it used to be like this, and then wrap in here. This didn't exist. It was just this, and then wrapped in. What they've done is they've taken it and made this the flyover, which goes over top of everything and just comes down and lands into 71 South. That's what they're referring to. That's the flyover. It's the old Mound Street. The old Mound Street on-ramp is now the flyover, with the new being essentially the old. I'm able to drive you again. I'll have to hit it and see what it's like. But I will say that should thin out all of this, because now people can actually hop off 70. They can hop off here at Broad Street, run this, or hop off on this area, because this actually comes in and goes up to Broad. So you can hit that, take Broad, go down to Parsons to Main Street. Main Street, you could just run it until it hits the dead end with Grant, then jump on Mound and take Mound all the way to here, and there's your flyover. It's going to slow some of this commute down through here, but it's going to pull a lot of traffic off of this congestion in this area, because this is a very congested area. This area right here is really congested, and that's why they're trying to add all these splits up here, is to ease the congestion in these areas. But we'll see if it works or not.
Come here. Come here. What's going on?
Yo. We just realized that guy's the getaway driver and the guy's still in the store, and we're about to go snatch him.
I got cuffs.
Boy, Walmart says, hey, this is another one. I tell him to come here. He takes off running too. I grab him, got him in the back of the car. This is their getaway vehicle.
Estero yesterday.
When you know, if you did it, you'll know when it was. I don't know.
Photo from Estero.
None.
Oh, it's today.
Yesterday, though.
There you go.
Commit crime, you deserve. Oh, mom asked the 9-year-old to move the car. She'll be lucky if she isn't charged with criminal negligence. I hate when Facebook does that. Go. It's sad. She's probably one of the only ones that's for the people. And this is what happens. Good people in politics get pushed out by the most disgusting people in the world. And then people look at her and attack her and say, oh, you're not really for America. You're not America first. You're a treasonous B word. That would trash her. And but she's probably one of the only ones that's a real for the people politician.
We did talk about the Epstein files, and he was extremely angry at me that I had signed the discharge petition to release the files. I fully believe that those women deserve everything they're asking. They're asking for all of it to come out. They deserve it. And he was furious with me.
What did he say?
He said that it was going to hurt people. We did talk about the Epstein.
And that's why it needs to come out. It needs to come out to hurt some of these people. Because these people have been hurting a lot more than what they're going to be hurt. Because we know that nothing's really going to happen to these people. Even if it's made known who they are, nothing's really going to happen to them. They're going to be able to walk around, make millions of dollars, billions in some cases, trillions in others. They're going to be allowed to walk around with no accountability. And that's the saddest part, is that none of these people will be charged. So, like I said yesterday, Biden may have been an idiot, but at least he charged hundreds of people for January 6th. Even if it was falsely. Hundreds of people from January 6th were sent to prison. Trump has charged nobody for Epstein. And that's the saddest part. And I'm really glad you see real people make action. It's sad to see her go because she's a great politician. She's actually for people. But none of these administrations deserve to have anybody like her on their side.
And a man is charged with aggravated murder after a deadly shooting in Pike County. The Pike County Sheriff's Office says they were called to Curtis Lane in Waverly yesterday morning. That's where they found.
That's the second thing from Waverly we've seen. Or no, like the second or third. What the hell is going on in Waverly? Why is Waverly just
Found
losing
Jason
their mind
Scott.
right now?
He'd been shot and killed. Authorities later arrested Christopher Barfield in connection to the shooting. Tonight, he's behind bars in the Ross County Jail. And a man is charged with aggravated murder.
So, and then you got Mayor Ginther talking about, well, murder rate, homicides are down. What do they do? Just add that to domestic violence deaths? Is this part of the recent statistic you were talking about, homicides in Columbus? Right here? That's Ohio State campus is right over here. As you can see, South Campus, that's OSU. This is an American standard. A lot of crime surrounds schooling institutions. A lot of it. And remember, there's St. Clair. That's the retirement place that they're putting up. Remember that money that taxpayers of Columbus are going to be spending on affordable housing? This is where your money's going. And it's not, oh, you don't want to go to the elderly and retired. No. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying put it in an area to where they're not going to be subjected to the possibility of this stuff traveling over here. To where we know our tax-paying dollars aren't going to be shot dead because somebody wants an old person's groceries. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying move it out of this neighborhood and move it to here. Move your affordable housing to neighborhoods like this. Move it to Dublin. Move it to the upper parts of Hilliard. Stop constantly putting affordable housing in the worst neighborhoods possible and thinking that it's going to actually help the neighborhood. No, it's not. The people who are going to live in those affordable housing are going to be, in some cases, the cause of the problems in the neighborhood. And this is what I'm saying. This right here is what I'm saying. You guys want to pump it up for the numbers. But you don't want to actually say that you're lying about the numbers because we just need it to look good for tax purposes.
Near the intersection of Roberts Road and crash has residents in West Columbus saying it is time for change. Christmas Eve, Sherry Bauman was killed near the intersection of Roberts Road and Windflower Road near Hilliard.
NBC4's Gracie Collins spoke with her family and other residents in the neighborhood who say safety issues at this intersection are not new.
The Bauman family has lived near Roberts Road for most of their lives. They say the growth in the area, including the addition of an apartment complex across the street, has made it much busier, and improvements haven't been made to keep it safe.
There's just so much traffic here.
But remember, Mayor Ginther is about to put $774 million to safety and security. Remember this right here. Safety and security. Mayor Ginther is promising to put $774 million to eliminating these problems
so
right
many
here.
People that live here now. It was not like this when we were growing up.
Tragedy overshadowing the holiday season for the Bauman family. According to Columbus police, Sherry Bauman was turning onto Roberts Road from Windflower when she was struck by another vehicle and killed.
It is just so incredibly dangerous pulling left onto Roberts Road, especially when we have people, going 10 miles over the speed limit.
Her daughters, Jamie and Danielle, tell me
It's not a speed limit problem. It's not a speed limit problem. Let's not point the finger to the wrong thing here, because that's the first thing that's going to happen. They're going to drop the speed limit down, with massive heavy police presence, and then not actually attack the real issue. The real issue is you're widening the roads, but you're not actually doing anything with it. You're just allowing more cars to fit on the roads. Like, that's what stoplights are for. That's what traffic measures are for. Traffic calming measures are for. To pull people back from just drone driving. These places pretend to put in measures, but they don't actually put in measures. Where did this happen at? The Roberts Road and Windflower. Okay, Roberts Road, Windflower. So that's between. Okay, so this is Hilliard, Rome Hilliard? Yep, this is Hilliard, Rome right here. See what they're going to end up doing. This is 45 miles an hour that runs down this road. 45 miles an hour. What they're going to end up doing is they're going to pull it down to 35 miles an hour without actually attacking the problem. Because there are a lot of these small little intersections that are left-hand turn intersections. There's not a lot of traffic calming down here. There's a light here on Walcott. There's a light here on Hilliard Rome. No other traffic calming to start the slowdown of traffic between these two lights. It's not. Once you hit green here, it's haul ass to try to beat this green light here. And vice versa. Once you turn right, it's hauling ass to try to beat Walcott's light. And then I think there's a light here. And then there's like lights all through here. But there's not a ton that can be done for this. There's really not. Because this isn't a major intersection. This isn't an intersection that garners a street light. So what they're going to end up doing is they're going to drop the speed limit from 45 to 35 in this stretch. If not, try to catch it like once you hit this point. you're going to see the speed limit drop drastically here. And then you won't see it climb back up until you get out here. That's how they'll attack the issue. So while it's unfortunate, they're asking for a change that's not really, it's not going to help anything. Dropping the speed limit down in that for that stretch is not going to help anything. It's not going to stop accidents. It's not going to cause less accidents. It's not. What needs to happen is people need to be scrutinized for driving more. Should be a requirement that you take driving classes and a driving test to get your license. And every decade, I would say every 10 years, you should have to go and do a, not really maneuverability, but do like the driving portion of the test again. Just to show that you're still capable of not being an impediment to traffic. Like, that's how it should be. We can't keep letting any and everybody continue to drive until they die just because they have the money to. This is what a major problem on the road is from people who don't belong there being allowed to be there. Easy way to tell, because it's an optical illusion for sure. But if you look down here, these pieces overlap. This AC unit's overlapped. That's overlapped. Up here, that's overlapped. It's overlapped here as well. You can see a lot of overlap, which says this building's in the front and that building's in the back. But there isn't, I can tell my eyes the optical illusion to where it pulls this building front, this building into the back. But these overlapped pieces and these key points tell me that this is in the front, this is in the back. I've been doing photo analysis for 2 decades now. 2 decades I've been doing things like photo analysis. Like I said, these key points, this, and this up here. Key points says this is in the front, that's in the back. Oh, I was wait. Damn it. Wanted Tucker's actual post, because he had a post of multiple things, like a few things he was talking about. This right here. Damn it. Oh. Is this? It's troll. Vows to fight fake boobs. This is true. Trump has already kind of made that side-eye jest about it. I hope they're not going back to making nuclear weapons because fuel for the B-2 is expensive. Basically saying they're going to drop a bomb on Iran. So that's inevitable. Not even going to comment. Naked meat market armed robbery. And it makes sense. Florida man. It was just some laughs to end my morning routine. Tucker's, he's such a troll. The Gen X troll. Boy. Hey. I guess she had a live stream. I guess she's been live streaming from X. But I guess X doesn't save them. Because she hasn't posted on YouTube in a hot moment. I haven't seen her post on YouTube. Or I may just not have seen them come through. No. A month ago is the last time. Which means wait, I think she was talking something about Rumble. Been on Rumble lately. Go live. Yeah. But this is 11 days ago, 12 days ago. Her last live on here, it wasn't a month ago. It was 11 days ago. But she was streaming on Rumble that day too. So I guess she did a live stream on X yesterday or the other day. See if we can't find them. Let's see. I don't need the shit talking. I need somebody was outside. No, my neighbor got home. Oh, that's why it was a space she was hosting. That's why there's not any kind of record of it. Well, Valhalla VAFT has been uncovering the Mitch Snow Private Snuffy. Private Snuffy's a military thing. It was funny when I heard him say, I haven't heard that in in years. I heard anybody use private snuffy. Drill sergeants used to use that on us. Should crack me up. But nah, Valhalla VFT's already exposed that dude for what he is. And I don't know why. I have a theory of why Candace is sticking with the whole private snuffy thing. And it's not because she believes him. It's because she's wanting to see where the rabbit hole with him goes. She's addicted to rabbit holes. That's because rabbit hole diving is very addictive. Once you start diving down rabbit holes and you start seeing all these tunnels connecting within it, it's addictive and you can get lost in it. And I think she's kind of allowing herself to get a little bit lost in it because she's wanting to see where it all goes. She's intelligent. She's a very intelligent woman. She knows what she's doing. And that's my opinion, I think she's just trying to see where the rabbit hole with him goes. She's not forgetting where she was, but she just wants to see where the rabbit hole with this guy goes. And if it goes seemingly nowhere, it's not like she's hurt by it. She's got content. Genius. Follow the rabbit hole with this guy. Go ahead. It really, even if you do not believe a single word he's saying, follow him down this rabbit hole. Let him dig the hole up. And I think that's what she's doing. Me personally, I'm thinking that's what she's doing. I've watched enough of her stuff to know how intelligent that woman is. And me personally, that's what I think. I think she's just going to follow the rabbit hole because content, and it's an addictive thing to want to know where the rabbit hole leads. And I think that's what she's doing. So, and it's also why I think Valhalla VFT isn't going after her. He's probably saddened by some of the things she's saying, but he probably is in the same mind frame of it's addictive to get into these rabbit holes. And she's probably just wanting to see where it goes. To me, it's genius. It's genius. She's getting paid handsomely to do it, which is fine. She's kind of deserving of it. Let her get off on these little tangents. Let her double, triple, quadruple down on Snuffy. Let her seemingly throw her support his way. If she pulls the support from him, he stops giving her the information. He closes off the rabbit hole to her. So no, she's not going to denounce him. She wants to see where this hole goes. I promise you that's what it is. Now that I think about it, I think that's exactly what it is. She's wanting to really see where this rabbit hole goes with him. Because that's all we are. We're a bunch of rabbits diving in and out of holes. Trying to find the one that we can sit in and lounge. So yeah. And it's smart. It's sad that she's attacking others, but she's probably feeling attacked. Like nobody's trusting in her ability to continue to do these things. Even with people calling her a shill, saying that Erica bought her, or Erica scared her, Erica. Even with all this, she probably does not pay none of that no mind, and would hope people who have her back still have her back. Because she's like one of us. She's a rabbit. Dives in and out of these holes. Gets lost in them in some cases. Let her get lost in the hole for a while. Let her run to Private Snuffy's end. Not like she doesn't know where she was. She's got months and days worth of posterity's sake. Let her dive. Let Candace dive. Let her do what she does best. And let's all, the rest of us, get back to what we were doing. And Valhalla kind of did it. Went back into breaking down what's going on in the real world spectrum. talking about the Democrats and the Republicans, the economy. We need to get back to this stuff, the Epstein files, the lack thereof by our government that we put into place. It's not to attack each other and try to discredit what each other are saying. If we see that one of us is dove into a rabbit hole, let him go for a while. Let him go. Some of us, myself, probably Valhalla, we've been doing it for a long time. I've been doing it since I was 18. A little bit before I turned 18, but I've been doing it since I was about 18 years old. I've been diving in and out of rabbit holes for all of my adult life. So if we get lost, let us get lost for a while. It's all part of the fun and the part of the journey. Is y'all trying to pull her out of that? It's gonna create an animosity between her and her view base. And she's gonna feel like nobody trusts her to do anything. And then she may as well be back at the Daily Wire. I know she doesn't want that. Why she works so hard at what she's doing. And even if she's scamming through rabbit holes, it'll be known. I don't think she's scamming. I don't think she's conning people and trying to lead people astray. Yeah, let her dive. Let Candace dive. What we got? News. I actually wanted to look in gaming. Nope. Wanted to do gaming news. News. And it's always the first thing they want to talk about is Nintendo. I don't know what Nintendo is doing. Then don't remaster it. Oh, Chivalry 2's on Epic. Oh, the new game. That's what it probably is. Probably the new game dropped and they probably dropped a bonus. This is what the future of gaming is. This is why they're trying to tell you, beat it into everybody's heads. Buying isn't owning. And you're gonna like it or not, it's gonna be the future. And this is right here. This is what the future of gaming is: cloud-based gaming services. Could the next generation of Xbox consoles really be delayed by something as boring as RAM prices? A new report has stated that it's certainly a factor that might push back Microsoft and Sony's new console hardware as AI heats up the market. There's no doubt that we'll still be getting some of the best Xbox games over the next few years, but the likelihood is that we'll be waiting on an Xbox Series X successor for a while if Insider Gaming's latest report is correct. The team there is very well connected and has sources in places we cannot even fathom. But still, take this with a grain of salt.
The Insider Gaming app is the fastest, cleanest.
An hour Insider Gaming. In short, RAM availability is becoming scarce even for mega companies like Microsoft. The main culprit is AI. Isn't it always these days? Massive data center expansion is consuming huge portions of the RAM market, driving prices up by several 100% over the last few years. A shortage or bottleneck in RAM module availability would massively hinder both the production and cost of new hardware. It's already happening right now, which is why console manufacturers like Microsoft and Sony already had to raise the price of a Series X by $80 and PS5 by $50 in 2025. Any further increases could make the cost of next gen extortionate. Both companies, according to the report, have had a high level of consultations about delaying the next generation of console hardware out of the 2027-2028 window. The hope is that this will allow the big three RAM manufacturers, Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron Technology, to increase their capacity. This could allow prices to stabilize so the average consumer could still afford a new console. To emphasize the scale of AI's RAM requirements, Micron, currently valued at around $331 billion, announced it would pull out of the consumer market in Q2 2026. Instead of selling any direct-to-consumer products, it's going to focus on selling RAM en masse to big companies instead. In short, it's literally not worth Micron's time or space on the production line to sell to us because the scale of orders for AI is so large. There have been some previous reports from Moore's Law and Moore's Law is dead that in the face of AI companies like OpenAI taking up 40% of the world's supply of DRAM, companies like Sony foresaw the bottlenecking issue and protected some of their future manufacturing pipeline by stockpiling RAM. Apparently, Microsoft did not take that same approach. Oh, I don't give a shit. No, wait, it's still talking about stuff? I've reported on and spoken with Tom from Moore's Law before. I think that's this guy. So I'm inclined to trust his sources, though I'll still remind you to take this with a pinch of sea salt. That said, you don't need insider access to see that AI growth is coming at a cost, with resources being pulled away from computing products that would traditionally serve the consumer market. AI also raises uncomfortable questions beyond RAM availability for consoles. Until recently, very few people were talking about Western energy infrastructure and whether it can realistically support the explosion of AI data centers. China invested heavily in green energy years ago to expand its capacity, but at current levels, the US and European grids simply won't support the energy consumption being demanded, which is what's causing your electric bill to skyrocket. So we can supplement for these data centers that they never retrofitted for, but they're trying to catch up to China with. That pressure is likely to push electricity prices higher, which raises an uncomfortable question. Will we even be able to afford to run next-gen hardware? I find this discourse fascinating, and they'll be vital to the future of gaming, even if the discussion is a bit less exciting than dissecting the latest GTA 6 trailer. The point is, this person will be gutted if they don't at least get the handhelds in that 27-28 window. From the comments I've seen around here, even the best ROG Xbox Ally games won't sustain the demand for a proper handheld for long. So again, AI data centers that we don't need, just here to literally cause more problems. Or but I'm pretty much going to be getting ready to take off. I got lots of stuff to do this evening. I at least wanted to put in some time for content to deal with next couple of days. So I'll be back tomorrow. Have a happy new year. Stay safe and don't do anything that would otherwise cause this to be your final new year.